Monday Night Raw is in the books, guys. 16th of May 2022, and eventful show on camera and off camera. But let's just acknowledge what happened off camera. We were supposed to get a 6-man pack, well, 6-woman pack tonight for the title. The tag champs Banks and Naomi were supposed to be in this. Of course, we've already made a vid on the channel about it, but I thought it's the review we got to address it because it changed the fucking show. They were supposed to be in it, but apparently they gave their tag titles to Laurinaitis and said they're not happy with creative. They do not feel comfortable competing tonight with two of the participants. And the two they on about, I'm assuming would be the two that dropped out the match. The other two do drop Nikki Cross. Maybe that's what it, but that's pretty insane, guys. Well, is that them both done? Like, and it definitely just seems like Naomi's just copied Sasha Banks here. The direction of this, the women's tag titles need scrapped. It's fucking dead, right? This isn't a Naomi Sasha Banks problem. This is a let's create too many titles for a division that's shite problem. You know, like yeah, they could book it a bit better, but realistically, who could they go up against in this women's division and tag? It's fucking awful. All the women that are main offenders in their own right, not actual main offenders, but you know where I'm coming from. You know, you don't see Ronda Rousey in a tag team. You don't see Charlotte Flair in a tag team. You don't see Becky Lynch in a fucking tag team. So why should Sasha Banks get jobbed at? Only time will tell what's going to happen here. But yeah, Sasha Banks and Naomi quit here. But then we have our first match of the evening. This is the order I watched the clip, so I don't know actually, but maybe it was. We have Omos taking on Bobby Lashley. Before the match, Cedric Alexander comes out and batters Bobby Lashley, but Lashley then gets the upper hand. We have the cage match. I mean, it's even enough match, I guess you could say. Omos then power slams Lashley through the cage. Lashley then wins via hitting his feet, hitting the deck first. But then, like, the announcer comes over and says, like, even though it's weird and unique circumstances, Bobby Lashley's feet did hit the right. Yeah, I know what they're trying to sell here, but let's not pretend that this has never happened before. This has happened quite a lot. You know, like, stuff like this. Like, when Big Show chokeslammed JBL through the ring, he fucking crawled under and beat Big Show out. You had stuff with Umaga and Lashley himself were fucking Lashley was in a match on EC. It wasn't against Umaga, but you know, like this stuff, sort of this similar sort of stuff. Then we had the spot with Reigns and Brock where he speared him through the cage in Saudi, and Brock won despite the fact Reigns hit the floor first. Mess, guys, but yeah, I mean, is it the end of the feud? Probably not. Next up, Cody Rhodes comes out, basically challenges Seth Rollins to a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell. This will be a good match, but I don't know, man. It's weird. There should be a title or something involved here. Both guys are too good for a title not to be involved. I mean, it is the main feud on Raw, I guess. But yeah, Seth Rollins agrees. Cody, I prefer him in WWE. I feel like in AEW they were jobbing him out. Andy was a bit more of a goofball. I feel like sometimes he comes out and cuts promos that are good, and sometimes he comes out and cuts promos that are shit and weird. This was alright, this one, I guess. Next up, the Judgment Day. Backstage say that they were tired of not being able to be themselves to please the people. Now they will please themselves. And anyone is free to join, according to Edge. Fear Mahan defeats Mustafa Ali. Are we supposed to care? Probably not. Probably not if we're being perfectly fucking honest, guys. But, well. And then out came Austin Theory to take a picture with him. You heard it here first. Then, the 24/7 stuff is normally fucking atrocious. And when I say atrocious, I mean atrocious. But this actually wasn't that bad. Because Dana Brooke ran into Carmella backstage and basically buried her. And I don't like either of these two. But at least one of them buried the other. Probably like Carmella a bit more than Dana Brooke. But I guess you got to take your L's or your dubs one step at a time. Next up, Riddle defeated Jimmy Uso. Also, the Mysterios came back and The Miz was there in the Fear Mahan match. Does anyone care? I forgot about it. I just remembered there. But yeah. That, but yeah, with Riddle defeating Jimmy Uso again. I mean, it seems like we've seen a combination of this match so many. See, with this unification match happens on SmackDown, can we just forget about it? like the feud. I feel like they just see WWE, like they have a decent match with teams and then they overdo it. I don't know, like see back in the day when you got the Dudleys versus the Hardys and you throw in Edge and Christian, you never got sick of that combination. I feel like now all you do is get sick of it. The Club then defeat Los Lotharios. Liv Morgan's now with the Club. Do we care, guys? Not really. The Phil against Bliss. The Phil has Bliss beat a numerous bunch of times here, but tried to undo the turnbuckle, doing that, hits her finisher. Bliss is almost beat here, but the ref trying to redo the turnbuckle makes it's like a slow count essentially because he can't get down quick enough, and then Bliss manages to win with a DDT. So back-to-back wins. This is, I mean, the Phil not exactly getting the biggest rub of all time. Then we have Ezekiel defeating Chad Gable. This was actually entertaining. All this stuff is, you know, because before this we had like a failed attempt at a DNA test for Finged, and then basically they came up with this plan next week, just to get Elias, figure out that it's Elias, because Otis, his rib obsession contaminated the sample this week. This is funny. Like Kevin Owens is actually doing some pretty good work, you know. But I guess when you work with Austin, you would expect to be able to put on good work, you know. And Gable and Otis are actually doing good work as well. Two guys who I would have thought were just fat bums, to be perfectly honest. But you know, who knows? But next up, it was supposed to be a 6-pack challenge here in the main event of Raw. It didn't end up being a fucking 6-pack challenge, guys, did it? No, it ended up being these two, as we discussed at the start of this episode. But, you know, it was a decent match for what it was. Becky Lynch is hot, her ass is showing. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But, I missed in the face, and once that hit her in the face, good night. But before this, we had Becky Lynch throwing Asuka into Bianca Belair, who was on commentary at ringside. You know, and and due to the green mist, essentially, Asuka wins, picks up the victory here, so she will challenge Bianca Belair at Hell in a Cell. Does anyone care about this match? Not really. You know, would it not have made more sense to do Becky against Belair inside Hell in a Cell? And you could have very easily have done that, you know? But then again, I prefer. I mean, can we just get rid of the pay-per-view Hell in a Cell and bring back like Judgment Day or something? I know they just call it Team Map, but you get me. And then have Hell in a Cell at separate pay-per-views. It's just pish like when you're guaranteed like 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches on one card and the feuds don't warrant it. I mean, I wouldn't even say this Rhodes Seth Rollins feud warrants it. I mean, if you look back in the day when Hell in a Cell matches were booked, like they were booked for some serious stuff. You know, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H. That was like their last one-on-one match for like a good while. Like they end that like early Ruthless Aggression feud. You know, Shawn Michaels Taker, what a match. You know, Triple H Foley. Just these days, man, we just don't get shit like that. But anyway, guys, I'll do it for your Raw. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as what Raw has usually been, guys. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And the backstage stuff was pretty entertaining to listen into and read into. So 3 out of 10.